Welcome to All Things Retreat Podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show today. Jennifer Urezzio is going to be my guest, and she is a soul-whispering, BS incinerating, divine codebreaker who moonlights as an intuitive strategist, but secretly operates as a full-time interdimensional translator for your soul's deepest truth. She didn't just found a soul language, she channeled an entire spiritual dialect from I can't even say that word.
Primordial ooze.
A soup of the divine, and turn it into a system that makes your therapist weep and your higher self applaud. She's one of the angels call when they need a communications upgrade. Imagine if Carl, did you say that? Young and Joan of the Arc had a love child raised by Oracle Wells and trained in intuitive jitsu by cosmic monks. That's Jennifer. She doesn't do gentle nudges. She throws spiritual lightning bolts wrapped in velvet. She'll read your energetic email, highlight the parts that you've been avoiding, and hand you a blueprint for sovereignty with the side of get over yourself. She can decode your divine operating system in less than it takes for your ego to panic. Her clients just don't transform. They quantum leak into unapologetic alignment, drop their karmic baggage at the curb, and finally stop asking the universe for permission. Boy, I struggled. How are you? Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Hi, I'm still great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, that was a fun bio. I'm like, even though I butchered it, my apologies.
No,
here we go.
Fine.
I did read it before, believe it or not. Let's just have a little conversation here today and bring retreats into all of this conversation because retreat leaders are mostly our listeners. I have a few questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Why is understanding the energy of who's coming to your retreat so important? What do you do when the energy is feeling overwhelmed? And what do you do when the individuals are in their own stuff and are creating a ripple impact on the retreat?
Yeah. I think it's really important that you know the energy that's coming to the retreat because it can actually help you shape the retreat in a whole different way.
Mm-hmm.
So in soul language, which what I do is I put tangibility to soul, there's a soulful energy called the patriarch. Okay. So if you had a retreat with a bunch of patriarchs coming, they're all little leaders, right? So when they're conscious, they can be led and lead. When they're unconscious, it's about dictatorship, right? But if you knew that information ahead of time, then you could put things in place if they were moving into dictatorship, or you could put in place that will allow them to lead, right? If you had a bunch of innovators and pioneering energy, you want to know what they're doing because they're going to be like squirrel, and you're going to have to keep maintaining them back and bringing them back. We've all been on retreats. We've all led retreats where there's a squeaky wheel, right? That person that shares longer than they should, right? And we've all seen retreat people go and not know how to kind of bring them in.
Yeah.
It's important because it will bring down and create resentment within the other retreat participants. So one of the things I do at the beginning is really like, okay, I love an interactive class. I love an interactive retreat. Let's keep sharing for a minute or less. If there's something you need to process more, right? We're going to create space during lunch to do that, or we're going to set time out for breakout time.
Grab your journal, write it down.
Right. And also, in order to not get the squeaky wheel, right? If you're doing peer sharing, right, you want to keep making sure that the peer groups are different every time so people have enough time to share. And you want to set those rules up front. If there's an overwhelming squeaky wheel, then no matter what you do cannot be satisfied.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, this is your chance to go internal. What needs to shift inside of you for you to put something different into the relationship field? So things might change.
I agree. I think, when I'm a strong believer that retreat leaders should do video Zooms with people and bring the group together before you bring them to the retreat. I mean, they
Love
don't
it.
always show up, everybody's busy. But if you can kind of like gauge that energy ahead of time, I think it does help the retreat leader. Retreat leaders, listen up. This is tools for you as a leader to be able to guide that, to be able to put that transformation in the right container. And I think a lot of retreat leaders don't have those skills. They haven't got them themselves. There's lots of places to go get them if you don't have them. It's not to scare you off. It's not to say, gosh, you can't handle this. But don't do transformational retreats if you don't have the tools to handle what's going to happen in that container. Because I always believe in equal share, equal voice. And I think that needs to be just said prior to even going to the retreat. But I think it almost needs to be a reminder, especially if you know that person's coming and that's just their mantra. Know ahead of time, just a gentle reminder every day. You can do it in a professional way. But yeah, those journals, I think when you're having that peer share, I think that reminder ahead of time that, you've got your journal in front of you. If a thought comes, just write it down. We might not be able to get to it right now because people process things differently. And some need that
Differently.
quiet
Yeah.
time and some need it. I mean, I learn for myself and I process things verbally. So like I'm a throw up girl that just like I need that friend. Just listen to me. And I think it's just like telling that person, can you just listen to me? I just need to vent. I mean, we've all heard that. So I love
Yeah,
that.
and I love the, collect and Zoom, ahead of time. It's also about the retreat leader itself
Yeah.
themselves, right? Right? If you have a deep sense of trust, if you have a deep sense that it's safe to be seen and heard, if you have worked on any victim energy, and we all have victim energy, right? The squeaky wheel tends to be victim energy, right? That is a way of building a retreat from the ground up that you're going to have less problems.
Yes.
I thankfully have a skill where, people trust me. And I've had master classes where somebody new comes in, never met them before. And they'll go, my God, I can't believe I just said that. I feel so safe in this group. I'm just there, right? You want to create a container of safety for yourself and for everyone. And that starts with you first.
I agree. Except not so safe that someone just feels like they can say everything they because again, it needs you're in an atmosphere with other women and you need to
Right.
or men, whatever it is, and you need to share, take that time.
Safe, but boundaries.
Yeah, yeah. But I think for the retreat leaders, it's just a lesson to learn that if you have an experience like that, hopefully you've got your tools and your toolbox all set together. And but a lot of times retreat leaders, I say this for speakers too, because I've been in the event stuff for years. It's like don't get up, don't teach something till you're through it. A lot of times that's what our businesses are. We teach what we know, what we've lived, what we've been through, because that's what makes us the expert on the other end. But until you're out the
Right.
other end, don't get up like on stage and give a talk and fall apart. Like wait till you're through that experience. Know that, oh, when I'm over this and actually over this, then I'm going to be able to speak on it. And how powerful is it going to be? I'm going to do a retreat on it. How powerful is it going to be to be able to be that leader? But until you're in that, at that place and in that place, yeah, be
You're too
careful.
raw. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And again, retreat leaders need retreats. And I hope you're hearing me say that, retreat leaders, because if you are promoting your retreats and they're not filling, are you supporting retreats? Are you going to retreat yourself to get your own experiences to learn how other people are doing things? So yeah, anyway, gosh, soapbox today. How can retreat leaders quickly read the energetic room when you very first gather? So whether you've done the Zoom before, let's just assume they did, but you're in there, like what would you be a skill that you could help a retreat leader learn?
Yeah. I think the first thing is you want to really set your intention. You want to roll out that red carpet. That's the image I give. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want everyone when they come into that room to feel like? Like, really roll that energetically out. And also, be aware, just be present. We learn a lot from getting out of our heads and being present. I was in a Zoom call this morning, and one of my really good friends came on, and all she did was say one word. I was like, oh my God, like she's really upset. Like you could feel it. You could taste it. And it progressed, and she was a beautiful share, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be aware. I think so often, we could be a little nervous in retreats. We're thinking about everything we do. And one of the things that really helps when you read a room is pivoting. So I gave a retreat a couple years ago, and we were going to focus on the how of things, and everyone freaked out except one individual. And they're like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Oh, they're really uncomfortable with the how. They get overwhelmed."
Yeah.
So I pivoted and we did something totally different. And I had dinner with the woman that was like, "Sure, let's do the how."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I love that you pivoted." She goes, "I was totally like cool with it, but you could see, you could feel the tension. Tune into your senses, tune into your, senses that we can't see or hear, right?
Yeah.
Like the sixth sense, and allow yourself to go, okay, they're tense or there's something happening here. And
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask and communicate. And really, it's okay to go, "Hey guys, what's going on? Like, talk to me." For the leader, allow them to feel really deeply connected by just communicating.
Yeah, that's great. I learned years ago, just, going to a lot of events and different retreats. When the leader has those tools in their toolbox, then they can go and get another tool. They can get another thing to go focus on. But I think reading the room is such a big deal, and realizing you can shift. And then I think what I noticed when I would go, the ones that were mature enough to ask for permission to do that. Like, it's not that you needed their permission, but you are in a container with them. And if you're shifting something, don't be so set on your schedule that no matter what happens, no matter what the energy is, I'm sticking to my schedule. I mean, don't be that rigid, because again, the flow, you got to go with the flow. And a lot of black and white thinkers, sometimes it's like, no, I've got to stick to my schedule. Or oh, that person that's in my retreat is so, they're rigid. Maybe, they've got, sorry, they got to be on that schedule. That's not people why you go to retreats. You got to be open. You got to be flexible. You've got to pivot when you can. So those are great, great tips. I love that. Uh, what are the signs that someone's energy is about to disrupt the collective and experience before it even happens?
Yeah,
I mean, you've got intuitive hit.
right. But think of it like walking a dog. So I have two Australian blue healers, Heart and Sheila. Heart, we did a lot of training, right? So I know school bus goes by, she's not going to look at it. I know a bike goes by, she might be a little bristly. I know a person goes by, okay, we're getting up, we're ratcheting up, right? We
Yeah.
can feel the build up, right? Notice what people are sharing. Notice who's not sharing. Notice what the looks on their face are. Notice who keeps having to get up and go to the bathroom all the time. Notice who's whispering together, right? These are all signs something is getting ready to bloom, right?
Rolling their eyes.
Rolling their eyes, right? Also, notice who's taking notes, notice
Yeah.
who's not, notice who keeps, interrupting or asking questions, right? These are all signs that, hey, the energy's building, something's happening, you need to be aware of. I think most retreats, if they're a couple of days, they don't have lunch with their participants, or they do a VIP thing where they have lunch and they're pitching their thing. That's a great time to ask, like, how are you feeling? What's going on? What's working?
Yeah.
What questions do you have? You can also just put a suggestion box at the, old suggestion box at the beginning of the room. Jot down your suggestions or jot down questions, right? So they have an access point in order to provide constructive feedback, right? So they feel seen or heard. That's the most important thing. Everyone at your retreat in some way, shape, or form is going to want to be seen and heard.
Right.
You just have to understand how each individual needs that, and can you provide it, and make sure that your upfront sales page covers that or doesn't cover that, meaning
Yeah.
really be clear about what is expected and what you expect of them, and what avenues they can turn to go, hey, that thing really was triggering. I don't know how to deal with it. I can feel myself ready to blow. Who should I turn to? And you can have trusted ambassadors in the room, right? Like if you're having an issue, hey, Sarah's will go over there. Sarah will help you. Or you can talk to my assistant if you have a problem. Like make sure that they have people and opportunities to express what they're feeling, what's happening, and feedback, or even what they need.
Yeah. Good stuff. Love it. What does true energetic leadership look like in a retreat setting to you?
I think true energetic leadership is first about being really aligned and centered and grounded. And then from there, offering it to others. I think it's about not trying to people please, meaning you're not bending or self sacrificing, right? It's really about knowing that you're leading, but you can be led all at the same time. It's about being knowing that you're safe to be vulnerable. And it's really about knowing that, hey, I'm the expert, I have the information, and I am willing to like explore questions. And if you don't know the answer or you need time to think about it, you can say, I don't know, let me think about that, or let me feel about that, or that's a great thing. Let me touch base, I would say, with my soul team and let me get back to you. It's about really not, it's about checking your ego on crack at the door. I mean, that's what it's really about. And I've seen so many retreat leaders not do that. I remember sitting, this was like 20 years ago, but I remember sitting in Las Vegas in a room of a lot of people with this famous retreat person up on stage, and the room was totally quiet and the mic wasn't working, and she was talking to her team and she's like, are you kidding? We talked about this should be working. And that's when the mic went on, and I went, and you can hear me, are you freaking serious? Like, did you just do that? Like, it's really about not being a facade, right? But being really your true, in integrity, conscious self.
Yeah.
And really being the model of that for your participants, and not letting your ego or fear run away with you.
Well, let's talk about ego. What does your ego actually play in spiritual growth? Do you think it's the villain or a tool?
I think it's a huge tool. I listen, without ego, I wouldn't have gotten off my couch this morning, right? I'd be like, no, maybe, right? Like, right? It is action oriented, and it is our place to see where we feel separate. And I love to have the mind or the ego follow the heart, right? That's the goal,
Yeah.
right? There's no part of you that should be made war with, right? You are whole and complete. So anyone who's trying to eradicate the ego, you're actually making war with yourself. So it's really about giving ego jobs, knowing like, hey, I heard you. I love you anyway. And we're going to take this road, right? So if you try to separate out the ego, it is actually going to cause you problems and friction. You're actually not being spiritual. You're creating disharmony and disease in your system.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay. So why do you think some people attend multiple retreats, but they never really change?
I think they're trying to find the answer of that they're broken, and they're doing it with their head instead of embodying the principles, right? I think they're trying to find the magic pill. There is no magic pill. There are magic questions, right? But there's no magic pill.
Yeah.
And when they keep going and trying this and trying that, they're also doing their life by jury. Let me ask this person, let me ask this person, let me ask this person. And then they have no agency. They have no authority over themselves. And honestly, you don't want a retreat filled with those people that are going to all of the retreats all the time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, unless they're going to those retreats as a leader, right? That's a whole different story. But, if they're like, oh my God, I got to learn this, and oh my God, I got to learn this, and that didn't work, and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
right? That's going to be a lot of victim energy.
I hear just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, you ready for some fun? I have a few rapid fire questions for you.
Love it.
No answer is the wrong answer, just whatever top of mind word or sentence comes to you. All right. Coffee or cosmic downloads?
Cosmic downloads.
Ego meltdown or spiritual breakthrough?
I think you have both. I think you have an ego breakdown to get the spiritual
Ooh, good one.
breakthrough. Yeah.
What's one word your soul uses to describe you?
Warrior.
Chakra check or mindset reset?
Mindset. I'm going to go with mindset, because I think that needs to come first before I look at what's going on with my central energetic channel or the chakra zones, or that's my mind's going to overrule it.
What's one thing people think is spiritual but totally isn't?
Divine timing. You are the divine. Like, stop using that as excuse. Yeah, it's not. It's just a crutch and a big old excuse wrapped up in some sort of divinity.
What's your favorite way to protect your energy?
By aligning my body and my energy, Earth Star and Heaven Star. And Glinda the Good Witch bubble. I imagine myself in the Glinda the pink bubble.
Yeah.
That's another way I love.
Good one.
Thank you.
For you, what's louder, intuition or fear?
It depends on the day. Oh, I mean, I would love to say always intuition, but I would be lying, and I don't lie. So it really depends on the day. On good days, it's intuition. On a rough day or a challenge day, it might be fear. And I can't judge either one.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer, thank you for coming and sharing your words of wisdom. I hope that our retreat leaders listening took some nuggets out of that. I'm sure they did. And I'm going to put all your contact information in the show notes. Is there anything, last words you would like to leave our listeners?
Yeah, if you remember you're whole and complete, everything will run more smoothly in your life.
That's a great thing to remember for all of us. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today. And we will see you next time on the show. Thank you, Jennifer, for being a great guest. Bye for now.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time. Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place, from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess, get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence.